You know, some people think I should be more popular. And I agree with them. But I'm not! And that makes me real feel bad. Why not? The top 5 scary things in E-rated games.
Christmas special! I mean Halloween! Yeah!
Welcome everyone to a brand new list. And today's subject is going to be about scary stuff in E-rated games. Now you know what I'm talking about. You were just a little child like 5 years old or something, and then you just had a good time playing the game overall. And then while you were playing, something pop up and you went damn. And in this situation you just have to ask, why put this here in a family-friendly game? It's making no sense. It's a time like this when you just have to put the controller down and say, you stay away from me! And that's why I'm here today, to narrow it down to the absolute 5 worst thing that will be ever put in any E-rated games. Now keep in mind, I haven't played every goddamn game in existence, so there might be games that I haven't played that you might want me to include on this list. So without further delay, let's start this up.
Yoshis Story is probably the absolute happiest game of all time. If you are ever depressed or sad, this is the game that will make you happy again. Just listen to the music! What could possibly go wrong with this? Oh yeah, the lava monsters. Now it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but to convince you even further, you go from this, the first world, to this, the second world. You know what really bugs me about this? The fact that this game looks like a baby game for 4 years old and below. So why then is there giant lava monsters in my baby game? It's not even Yoshi related looking. It's only there to make you kids crying in fear of its tongue. It's scary, okay? And I don't like it. I think I made it clear in the past, but I absolutely love the Sonic series. It's really lighthearted and the story is all about kicking a fat scientific ass. It's fun and easy to step in. The only game in this entire series to take it a bit differently was the adventure games, specifically Adventure 2. Now I may be the only person who thinks that way, but Sonic Adventure 2 is really dark in some way. Not scary, but dark enough to be on this list. As some of you probably know, the story is that the incarnation of the ultimate life form, Shadow, after being sealed for 50 years, awakes and the sin of his past are haunting him. Dr. Eggman, who liberates Shadow, requests that Shadows help him to conquer the world. During the story, Shadow gets flashback of his friend Maria, who got killed by humans. Upon dying breath, Maria requests that Shadow must make all humans. End of the flashback. And I guess because of Maria's death and the fact that it was sealed for 50 years, Shadow take this as seek revenge against humanity. I mean, compared to the other entries in the series, that just seems out of place. It's really dark. And you know what? Sega weren't afraid to show it.
Oh, by the way, Sega, the moon's supposed to be blown in half. Just saying.
Banjo-Kazooie, what a classic. I mean, who doesn't like this game? Never mind. And what was the most fun about this game was because it was a fun, light-hearted game for children. Then when the sequel came out, Banjo-Kazooie, everybody was like, yay! But then they realized Gruntilda's back. Now it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but let me pull you a little bit more into story. So Banjo-Kazooie Story begins with the two Gruntilda sisters getting out of her tomb. She is then reincarnated as a moving skeleton. In anger of revenge, she casts magic fireballs at your house. And unfortunately, during that tragic accident, your best friend Buttles died. And you know what's even worse? You're never telling his family about his death. And alongside the story, you also see that an entire village of Jinjos, including the king, has been turned into zombies. Mother zombies. I'm telling you, that went from a drastic change, from being one of the most lighthearted series as one of the most darkest plot I've ever seen in a game. Well, in an E-rated game anyway. Oh boy, it's a Castlevania game! I love Castlevania games, they are pretty dang good. The platforming is great, the power-ups are amazing, the controls are good enough. The graphics are awesome, and the combat is... Did this zombie just obliterate it in front of me? GA? General audience, my ass. Just look how gruesome this is! Zombie gets ripped apart, Harpy's lose there upon dying, and... Legend of Zelda. One of the best series of all gaming. A series all about adventures, quests, puzzles, epic lands, weird characters that sound like if they were about to have an orgasm. And a 40 years old man who sells you map, thingies of figures, and forces his brother to do his bidding. Truly, a series that never took the wrong path. Except... well, let's just say that Nintendo makes some bad decisions sometimes. So what did I decided was the worst? Majoras Mask. Majoras Mask. It's a pun. Now I know what you're thinking. Why is this on the #1 spot? Well, let's just assume you are a 4-year-old child playing Ocarina of Time a lot and never reach a Shadow Temple. Then your parents are like, well, this is a good game. Then they see at the store a sequel to this game and they're like, let's buy it for our kid. Unfortunately for you, you made it to the end of the game using manuals and other stuff. And you see this. You know what? I think I get it now. Seriously, I mean, it's obvious. Rated E. For endless nightmares! Just what were they smoking in the brainstorming session?
Alright guys, we need ideas for a villain. Ganondorf maybe?
Miley Cyrus.
What about Ganondorf? Does anyone has fresh weed?
I do.
Wait a second, I got it! What about a mask that can consume the soul of any living thing who wears it? Has a mind of its own, is powerful enough to bring down the moon to the earth to cause the apocalypse just because he feels like it. Can stand the size at will, can grow tentacles out of his back to attack you, summon slain monsters, grow muscle out of his mask to dance, and finally grow whips out of his already disturbing body to electrocute to death. Does anyone else oppose this decision? Perfect. Suggestion approved.
Did I convince you yet? Maybe I'm just a pussy. But in the end, this thing gave me over a month of nightmares when I was little. So this is why Majora's Mask is in my opinion, the scariest thing in any rated games. Thanks for watching.